Let me get this trash.
Oh,
out
yeah.
of frame.
Sorry. Get this.
Mainstream garbage. Oh, you had quite a lot left. Whoops.
Yeah, I was fucking around with shit.
That's true. That's what you do.
It's all good. Sod it. All right, so, oh buddy, we're in for a doozy. I think. I'm not sure. Today is November 4th. When we're recording this, we obviously don't know the results of the election right now, and depending on when you're listening to it.
No. Trump said he won yesterday.
Oh, that's right. So then what do
Biden
we even?
said he's winning today.
Yeah. So what do we even talk about?
Let's pack it up.
Okay.
All right.
Well, just in case those guys are wrong about their premature admissions. Admissions. We should probably just talk about some stuff.
Okay.
That pertains to what's going on.
Probably.
So, with that in mind, and without further ado, Obi, please introduce the beers for this evening.
Today we have the I Voted Today. This one is by Hourglass Brewing. It's yet another project similar to a beer that we just recently had with the Black is Beautiful, where a brewery, this one I think was started by Tired Hands Brewing. In that same spirit, they invite other breweries to basically within certain parameters make their own beer and promote this cause. So this cause obviously was to get people to vote. And it seems like it worked because a lot of people voted.
And it's all thanks to Hourglass and this collaborative brew. You got to tilt the mic just enough so that you're in it. Go ahead.
Is that better? Am I good?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well,
we're new at this. I don't know if you guys know. But yes, big props to everyone who was part of this initiative. There are tons of breweries that made their own version of it, but being good friends with the Hourglass crew, we went ahead and are highlighting theirs today.
Yes. Shout out to Hourglass. We haven't had them on the show for a little while, mostly because whenever we feature Hourglass, we usually like to actually go to the brewery and talk to everybody up there and kind of, just get a feel for what they're trying to feature and everything, and just kind of show face and whatnot. And obviously it's been kind of hard to do that most recently, and so, but we'll be featuring them a lot more often.
I think so.
Forward. So that is the I Voted Today. That's Adam Obesius Rodriguez. My name is Marco Dupa, and this is the Election Day special One Beer In podcast. Yeah.
To be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
That's it. I can't get that level of
that guttural.
yeah. It's good.
Those were the noises I was making all night, just watching. Yeah, by myself.
Okay.
In the middle of the loft area,
Yeah.
people were walking from room to room, and they were just shielding their eyes, just ignore it, just ignore it. And I was just going,
You can't see me. That's how you get a hernia.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. This is episode 286. And we are glad as always, that you guys decided to join us whenever you did.
Yep.
Because now more than ever, we need each other.
We're a nation divided.
I want to just lob this question immediately.
Okay.
Are you one of the people that thinks that if you don't vote, shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Just across the board.
As long as you can. I understand if you're a felon or you're too young, obviously, or you're an immigrant who doesn't have status in America yet.
Mm-hmm.
Totally get it that you can't, obviously. But, and I think you still have, you still have a reason to be able to have debates and complain about things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, if I know a lot of people are of the mind of voting doesn't really matter anyway, but yeah. I don't know. It's just it's one of our rights, man.
Yeah.
If you don't participate, I don't think you really should have a place at the table to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're just going in, I know it's not going to be a very popular opinion right now because of how close this race is, but even if you're just going in and writing in who you think would be a good president, I mean, I still think the act of you trying is enough for you to buy a ticket to that show, you know?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, 60,000 people, 60,000 votes so far that wrote in Kanye West.
Wow.
And if I knew any of you,
punch you right
in the fucking, right in the melon. Just donkey punch it. Just drop one right on the top of your head.
Yeah.
60,000
It'd
votes.
make a cartoon noise if you did too.
Yeah. It would make like and then you just one big lump.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously in the grand scheme of things, especially this election, the fact that
millions and millions.
Yeah, I mean the highest voter turnout of all time,
and
Joe Biden has the most.
Joe Biden has the most votes of any candidate of all time.
So of all time. And so, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it obviously doesn't matter even a little bit, but it still kind of matters.
Yeah.
Enough that
even
a small population, even symbolically,
for me, I mean, I just feel like if you're not gonna try, then you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. That's just my perspective on things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You can have an opinion, but I'm not gonna really listen to you for as long as I would somebody who actually went out and voted.
Yeah. So, do you think that the same like I know this is kind of oversimplifying it a little bit, but sorry, somebody just corrected my grammar on something, and Daddy's not going to stand for that. I'm gonna get at him later.
Okay.
Do you think that the same rules apply to anything else? For example, if you've never played basketball before, but you know a lot about basketball, you haven't ever participated in. And again, I understand this is oversimplifying it, but the tenets still kind of apply. Mm-hmm. Like, if you didn't participate, do you have a right to then give your opinion on something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's totally different.
Do you think?
I 100% think 100% because something like that, because that argument always comes up with, can a critic who's never made the art they're criticizing really have an insight into what it takes to make that art?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that.
And I think we've both agreed that, yes, they do have a right and they do have an opinion that matters to people. And even if you're not a director of films, you can study them in a way that makes you an expert on them, not on making them, but on the product itself. With voting, it doesn't work that way because it's not really experiential. It's not a skill to place your opinion on a ballot.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a practice. It's something that you as an American citizen step up to the plate and go, I like that person. and I stand for that and that and that, and I'm going to put my opinion out there. I know it may not matter in the end of the day, but I'm still doing it. It's a thing you do even if it is null and void, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's not really the point, in my opinion. It's more of that you tried. It's the effort of doing it that matters most in the process. Because if enough people care, yet in the back of their minds don't think it's going to matter, it may matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when people always say things like, well, your vote doesn't matter anyway. And it's like, well, then why is all of this? Why are we going through all of this?
Right.
What is the point of all of this? If your vote doesn't really matter and they're going to pick who they're going to pick and, whatever, we don't really have a voice, then why would they care so much?
Which, I mean,
why does anybody care?
Especially nowadays, I get that impulse to just be like, screw it all. I don't care. Yeah. I'm removing myself from this because it's, full of vitriol and poison. But I think because things are so bad is why people care so much now. Mm-hmm. It's because they feel like they have to, and rightly so. I think they do. I think now is the perfect time to, begin opening your eyes politically to what your belief systems are, what policies you align with, which ones you don't, and really studying who's on the ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too late now, obviously, but
yeah, you got in 2 years you can do that, and then 4 more you can do that. Well, not 4 after that. You know what I'm saying? You guys understand? Yeah, no, I mean, I just pose those questions as more of a thought experiment than anything else. Yeah. Because I think of course you have to participate in the political process if you're gonna. I mean, again, you can have an opinion, you can say whatever you want, but.
Well, the entire world does, right? Everyone, the entire world has an opinion on who the U.S. president is.
Right, and they can't participate, so.
Correct.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can. I don't think. I think it's like you said. I'm not going to take your opinion as serious as someone who actually did participate. Mm-hmm. Like we can have a roundtable discussion, but if 3 of the people at the table didn't vote, it's like, well, I mean, you can say your piece.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, but like you didn't. I think the difference is when you're talking about MMA, for instance, and you've never fought before, but you're talking about what it means to be in a fight from what you've seen. The difference is, like you said, it's the experience. You are giving your opinion on something so I guess the equivalent would be if I participated enough, I myself could be a politician, a senator, the president. Right. I could actually affect some kind of change if I participated more than the next person. And so my opinion would hold more sway than somebody who didn't participate.
Right.
But that's not the case, obviously. What you're saying is I am expressing how I feel, and also I am trying to affect some kind of change in that effort that I've made, whether or not it matters in the long run. That doesn't matter in that immediate action. Yeah. Which is, I'm doing this.
It's just a practice. It's just a thing that you're doing because it's your right to do it.
Yeah.
And
so
it's asked upon you as a U.S. citizen to voice your opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I know people who didn't vote. I know people who didn't vote in this election. I know people who didn't vote in any of the other elections. I've been able to vote in 3 in my lifetime so far. And yeah, I mean, I know, 4 now, four now, counting this one. Obama twice, the fucking Hillary, and now Biden. Yeah, that's right. I voted blue. Voted blue, baby. Voted blue. Oh, did you see? I talked about it on Twitter. Somebody else highlighted it too. But when Kanye, when he actually so he voted for himself. Obviously, it's what candidates do. He wrote himself in, and then just left the rest of his ballot blank.
Completely empty.
It's complete. And it's just like, I mean, here's the thing. I want to talk about Kanye for a second before we talk about the stuff that actually matters.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't actually believe that he was taking this seriously at any point, really.
No.
He obviously wasn't. Now, you can listen to him, word vomit on the Joe Rogan podcast. And here's the thing. If you want to look at it from a completely altruistic standpoint, let's just take all our negative feelings about Kanye out for a second, right? And just talk about what he was saying on that show. Like, let's transport back to fucking 2014 when we're big Kanye West fans.
Right.
And he goes on the Joe Rogan podcast and says all the things that he says. Minus all of this, there's no negativity right now. Mm-hmm. Right now he's, I don't know, that's what, Yeezus era, maybe a little after that. Yeah, probably. Still a huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he says all the things that he says on that show. Try to imagine that. Do those things now, like, how do those things make you feel in that regard?
I think there's less immediate negativity around them.
Basically, what I'm asking is taking on the merit of the words themselves and not what he's done recently.
Right.
Taking on the merit of what he's actually saying.
Mm-hmm.
How much stock do we put in those things? How important are they? Did they even mean anything? Do you care? Are they meaningful to you?
I mean, largely no. He said a lot of nice things that didn't make much sense. There wasn't a clear path to what he was saying. He's, if you want to be kind, he's a visionary. So he's good at big picture. This is my plan. I want to build a city. I want to build a future city and very like big Walt Disney style, like, I don't know, future thinking. And again, very altruistic, but I don't see any.
I think he envisions, like, whenever you see old visionaries from like the 40s and 50s, and you always see them like in like a like a big suit, and they're walking. Like they're doing a video, and the video's like panning, and they're walking next to like a mock up city of something.
They have a pointer.
Yeah, and they kind of just glide their hand across the table of their mock up utopia.
Yeah,
and
it's Walt Disney talking about Epcot.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
that's all it is.
Yes, like futurists.
But again, without anything to back it up.
Yeah.
Like, he's just dreaming about these things, and he doesn't have the practical knowledge to make any of this happen. Now, of course, he's hiring some brilliant people, I'm sure, that could get the road underneath him, but coming with these ideas without any knowledge of what it takes to get to these places is, I mean, it's insane. Like, and again, I don't say that to call him crazy. I don't mean that as in like he's mentally ill. I'm just saying
How dare you?
I'm just trying to clarify here. Not making fun of his mental status, but it makes no sense to trust that he could get these things done without any experience other than being a visionary, musician, producer, I don't know, fashion designer. Like, those things can all help with the creative process, I'm sure, but without being an engineer, without, like, understanding the way things work, how much things cost, and, logistics around those things, I don't see any way that what he's saying isn't just ramblings and dreams.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but I'm saying if you're running as president, you're not going to get my support until you can prove that you have that knowledge,
right?
Or have the people around you that can provide that. And it's not just a bunch of these bright-eyed utopian thoughts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
even without any of the stuff that he's gotten backlash for recently and things that have soured him to us, I'd still feel that way.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at one point that he likes to make is that the reason that he feels like he can win, and the reason that he feels so comfortable running, is because Donald Trump won.
right.
You know, and
That clearly energized him.
Yeah, I mean, not only did it, not only speculative, like that's probably what he thinks, but he's admitted that like the reason he is running is because he saw that Donald Trump won and
Yeah.
that let him know that he could do it. That, I mean, that's a big deal because, as crazy as it may seem now, or I guess when he first started running, now, I mean, I think 100% he could win.
Sure.
I think it's very easy. And then when you look at the fact that not even being on the ballot, not having a clear campaign that he was running on, I didn't even know who his vice president was.
Right.
Nothing. He had nothing, and he still convinced 60,000 people to write his name in.
Yeah.
Now, you know, again, 60,000 when, I don't know, there was what? The last time I checked, there was almost 200 million votes. So
Yeah. And how much of that has to do with the fact that so many people on both sides of the aisle are unhappy with both of the traditional candidates?
has a ton to do with it.
If we were in a way more hotly contested, I mean, it's hotly contested now, but I'm saying if we were in an election in which both the Republican and the Democrat options were, you know, people that were respected on both sides more than these two guys are.
Like in 2008. I mean, that's Obama held the record from that election until Biden broke it.
If that were the case, then I don't think Kanye would have gotten nearly as many votes. I mean, Kanye became the meme vote for this year.
Right. As Harambe was in the last election.
And in a way, how Trump was when he won.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He was the joke pick.
Can you imagine how many people voted for him in 2018 thinking that, like, well, there's no way he wins, so I'll just do this. 2016, yes. Yeah. And they were like, there's no way that he wins. This is just gonna be a troll vote. Like, because it's ridiculous to think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to glean any fucking, you know, mind blowing fucking I don't know, I'm spacing on words. I'm just so
It's been a rough couple days.
Fucking I'm exhausted, dude. I didn't realize like how much it was gonna affect me, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, just sitting around just wanting it to be over, really.
Yeah.
Just wanting it to, you know, obviously wanting Biden to win, but just wanting it to be done. Just don't want to. I didn't want to talk to really anybody about it.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I mean, even if you're not completely plugged in, you know, just seeing it on the news 24/7, seeing your Twitter feed exploding with it, it's exhausting no matter what you want.
Yeah.
And add in the fact that our current president is a Twitter fiend.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been non-stop, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is tiring. And I think, you know, this election in particular, people always say, well, you know, we put too much stock into the role of the president of the United States. It's really all about local government, and sure, the president's our figurehead, but you know, it isn't just him or her. It doesn't, that's not all that we have as far as leadership, and people who get things done really are usually the smaller fish, right? But figureheads matter.
Yeah.
So I just feel, I mean, both of us have very similar political views. So I think we're both kind of, at least when I was seeing the results come in with Trump being a favorite in many states and looking like he was going to take it, it was stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Because to think of, I am not a fan of how the country's been run for the past 4 years. To think that we're only at the halfway point now, if you were to win again, and to think of what could happen in that amount of time.
Yeah.
You keep asking when we're going to hit rock bottom, but it just keeps going further.
Just keep going.
We find another basement.
Yeah.
And it brings a bit of dread. I'm not saying, everything's good, the world's going to end if he gets reelected, because that's still a very real option for the outcome of this election, but it would suck. it would leave me feeling bummed. And I understand a lot of people out there don't feel the same way. That's fine, but just for my ideals and how I'd like to see the country being run, and the ideals of an ethical leader in the White House, I don't know, man. I just want something normal again.
Yeah.
I want something comfortable.
I want something boring.
Give me somebody I could talk to if I disagree with their positions on policy.
Yeah.
I don't want a guy that's on Twitter all day who's screaming.
Yeah.
So that's my side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's disappointing. It's not surprising. You watch the middle of the country just go straight blood red, and you're just like, I mean, some of those states, I mean, he just decimated them, and you're just, I mean, I guess I should.
Florida.
Oh yeah, I mean,
took Florida.
Yeah, fuck this place. Yeah, I mean, fuck Florida. I'm so fucking sick of living here. I really am, man.
Look. Some of our favorite brewery towns also voted blue.
Yeah,
Orlando did, Jacksonville did, Tampa did.
Yeah, the people that are here that I know and love, the things that I do around here, the bars, the fucking the city life, the culture, all of that is awesome. But as a state, fuck Florida. I'm sick of this fucking place.
It's too hot.
Yeah, I mean it is too hot.
I don't like it.
I'm uncomfortable almost all the time.
Constantly just dripping with sweat.
I don't like the traffic. I don't like what they're doing to parts of the city. I just don't. I don't like this place. I fucking.
Show that Orlando pride. Mm-hmm.
It took me a really long time to have pride about living here.
Oh yeah.
And that's not even like a political stance. I just didn't fucking. When I was a kid, I grew up moving to a bunch of different places, Army brat, whatever.
Yep.
And this always felt like a pit stop. It never felt like home.
It's a vacation spot.
Yeah, and I just
people never stay here.
Yeah, that's what they say.
We're not people.
No. So anyway. Yeah, he takes states that you expect, and then he takes states where you're like, oh, come on. And then they start flipping blue, and then you're like, yay. But it's like, it's one of those years where I'm equal parts really enthused and really passionate about what's going on, because I'm older now, and so I'm paying attention to more things, and this year more than pretty much any other year, I've paid attention to the political process. I've done the research. I feel like my vote this year has been more informed than any vote that I've ever cast.
Yeah, same for me too.
So there's that part of it, and then there's the other part of it where it's like, we know that Joe Biden's not the perfect candidate.
Right.
And I am not going to, if and when he does win, my thought process is we hold his feet to the fire and we make sure he's held accountable for the things that he promised on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that that still need to change. There's a lot that needs to be done differently. But I'm not going to start off going, this is the best that we could do.
Right, yeah.
This is the lesser of two evils. I mean, I guess.
Right.
Biden, I guess. Like, that kind of apathy doesn't help.
No.
So,
The fact of the matter is that's what we got.
yeah.
So you're choosing between that or a guy who's, I mean, I don't think I'm mincing words when I say trying to dismantle democracy.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah.
He's trying to get people to stop counting votes.
Yeah. No, he's literally taking states to court to try to stop them from counting votes.
Right. All under conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like on this show that we try to be as reasonable as possible, and it obviously it's hard not to lean where you're gonna lean.
Of course. But I think we're pretty blatant when we are giving our opinions that are clearly biased.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I mean, there's some things where it's just like I don't get it, man. How do you look at that and go, yeah,
It's my guy.
4 more years of that. Now, if you're a person who dislikes Joe Biden so much that you're like, I want to participate, like we talked about,
Right.
and I can't vote for Biden. He's a crook. He's a career politician who got nothing done.
He's sleepy.
So I'm going to give. I just don't see how you can go, but I'm going to give this guy 4 more years to get it right.
Yeah.
But if that's how you feel, I mean, at least that's better than, and it's only slightly better than being passionately for what we've had so far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you got to do a lot of mental gymnastics to convince yourself that the past 4 years have been good overall.
Well, I
They
think,
could have been good for you, maybe.
yeah.
And of course, you can't blame Trump for the coronavirus, like for it happening. It wasn't his fault that it happened. I don't think either of us think that. But you have to hold him accountable for
His response.
slow response, inadequate response, not listening to the doctors, you know, having his people chant "Fire Fauci," who's he's a non-political figure. He's an expert in his field, and the people you've attracted are anti-science and pro-conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And there's apparently a lot of them, or at least a lot of people who, again, are willing to turn a blind eye to the fact that his administration straight up lost kids and don't know where they ended up. Lots of abuse allegations from those places that they say are so well maintained too.
Yeah, I mean, they're living better lives now than they ever were.
Sure. And then the only rebuttal to that I've heard is, well, who made those cages?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so can we at least get to a place where we agree that's inhumane and bad?
Yeah.
Can we at least get to that realization, that truth?
Well, and the funny thing is that is the implication when you say something like that. When you say, "Hey man, we're living in hell," and then you go, "Well, who brought us to hell?"
Right.
And it's like, okay,
Who
yeah,
built the gates to it?
they drove the bus that got us here, but we're still here. And you're admitting that it is what I just said it is.
Right.
You're trying to put the blame on someone else, but
Exactly.
you're admitting that where we
That it's
are
bad. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
It's self-indictment.
yeah,
basically, but putting the blame on somebody else.
yeah. And then I mean, this is just it's wild, man. It's wild to see things that you just never thought would be a part of the process. I just never thought, and like, I don't know, politics is boring usually, and it's by the book
When it's at its best.
and you see this year fucking like Donald Trump's son declaring victory in Pennsylvania before. I mean, they counted like 40% of the vote at that point, and they're just like, we won.
Yeah, you've seen that happen from pundits, Tommy Loren.
Yeah.
A bunch of people have been doing that, and that's what we were assuming was going to happen, and it has, because now you energize the base who believes all of Trump's nonsense and will now be hitting the streets. I don't know if you saw, but apparently the Trump campaign has been emailing saying, "See, we told you he tried to steal it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do something about this.
Yeah.
Please give us money."
And he basically, well, not basically, he did. He's tweeting like I saw one tweet before, like I think it was last night, where he's like, "We're up big, but they're already trying to steal it." And it's like, how do you guys not see the obvious attempt to sow doubt in the entire process when it's not going his way? When it's going his way, everything is fine. Like, if he was up, if you just flip the roles, there's no way he'd be asking for a recount.
Of course not.
Why would he? I mean, obviously, why would he? But if we're actually talking about counting all the votes, getting it right, doing the political process the way that it's supposed to be done, then you would want the entire thing counted out, regardless of who's going to win.
Right.
And that's not the case.
Yeah.
He's sowing seeds of doubt in states that he hasn't even lost yet. It's like...
Yeah, it's an insurance policy.
Yeah.
So if he does lose, it was crooked. I told you.
Yeah.
And if he wins, it may have been crooked, but we still showed up enough that I won it.
They tried to steal it, but they couldn't.
They couldn't.
As you can see, I'm not doing my Trump impression.
No, not today. It's retired.
It's
retired for now.
Hopefully it's retired forever. Hopefully I never have to do it again.
If you have any illusion that Donald Trump is going anywhere, win, lose, or draw, I got something else to tell you.
I don't think he's going anywhere, but I think that at least when he shows up on TV, I can just go.
We can change his channel.
Yeah, I can just move right along and go, "Oh, it's that crazy person back on the TV again. I'm gonna watch something else."
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
I saw somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, I kind of hope that if he does lose, he just goes scorched earth on Republicans.
Yeah.
And I would kind of love to see that too.
We'd love to see it.
He would just. I mean, because the thing is, we're counting down between if he wins, how many of the Republicans, rest in the pale bosom of Donald Trump, and if he loses, how many of these fucking rats scurry
to the
under the fucking cupboards and shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that punk ass bitch Marco Rubio open his bitch ass face and act like he wasn't fucking just licking that boot. Fuck you, Marco Rubio. Fuck you. Sorry.
I mean, I think as a Marco, you have every right to say that.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
You're giving us a bad name, literally. You piece of shit.
Also, fuck you, Marco Rubio. You are a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You can go fuck yourself. I can't wait to see the Lindsey Grahams just scurry. Or if he wins, it'll be interesting to see how many of them are just like, told you.
Yeah.
Told you so.
Yep.
I told you.
Yep. It's all right.
It felt good. That felt good. That felt good
Yeah.
to tell him to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Because I see him quoting scripture and shit, and it's just like, the
Slime ball.
Oh, fucking slime ball. Just this slimy, just greasy, cheese-eating rat bastard.
It's okay. It's all right. Now's the time.
How does that not piss anybody else off? I mean, I know it obviously pisses us off, but religious people, true religious people, not evangelicals, not people who use God to say Trump is fucking savior. The idea
Oh yeah.
that God was like,
You're the
this is
one.
the God. You're the chosen one. Dude, I love more than any time in history ever, really. The imagery of Donald Trump from some of these people is like no one ever deified Obama
No.
or any other president really ever. You just don't see the ridiculous like it's they always paint him with like Sylvester Stallone's body.
I was gonna say it's ironic that they put his face on Rambo,
All the time.
a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
Funny.
A disillusioned, PTSD suffering Vietnam vet.
Right. Mr. What was it Bone Spurs?
Bone Spurs.
Mr. Bone Spurs.
Old Bone Spurs.
Yeah, that's a real tough guy there.
Or they have him like riding an eagle into the sunset.
Yeah.
Or
Oftentimes unironically.
and or just these images
Solemn,
of
draped with
his
clutching the American flag.
people like draping something over him.
Yeah.
Jesus with his hand on his shoulder.
Yep.
The imagery is just fucking. It's like okay, if you're a Trump supporter and you're looking at it like he's brought jobs back to this country and I don't know, he's gonna defend the Second Amendment and he's against I don't
Blacks.
know.
Whoops.
You know, all of these things, you still have to admit that he's like a shitty human being.
Yeah.
That at the very least, you wouldn't deify him.
No.
You wouldn't have a picture of him on your wall going, there's my guy.
He's objectively not well spoken.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care if
But that's
you're-
what people that's what people like about him though.
Exactly. And that's what makes him made out of Teflon. It's because people want somebody who misspells polls when he's talking about the polls.
It's like, come on, man. Misspelled balls.
And I don't know why.
None of that shit matters.
I think maybe it instills this belief that they can be there someday too.
I think it's less aspirational than it is or I guess I should say it's less inspirational and more no aspirations, because you would aspire to be something like that. It's less aspirational. I don't think that there are people who see him and say, see, he did it, I can do it. I think that they see him and go, finally one of us is there representing for us.
How do you say that with a straight face if you're not a New York billionaire?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not one of you. He's not a farmland guy with bristled hands who's been working his field for decades.
Wouldn't step foot on a fucking place like that.
No, not in his lifetime.
Yeah.
You think he really cares? You think he really cares about the heartland? You think he really cares about coal miners? You really think he gives a damn about anyone but himself?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but everything that I've seen from him kind of shows him as a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, potentially. He could be sowing doubt in the entire democratic process just because he's too vain to lose. Maybe. So he's trying to take down the ship with him. Maybe. I don't know. That's my perspective. I'm sure you have your own.
That's my perspective. All right. Let's start. Let's get off of Trump for a minute.
Please.
Let's talk about the process itself. Or rather, now that we're here and, you know, hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this, we're at least one step closer. I mean, if Joe Biden wins Nevada or Pennsylvania, the whole thing's over. We don't have to.
Well, they're going to do revotes or
recounts and all that
Yeah.
jazz. Right. I understand that, but we would have a president-elect.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll go to the courts. It's going to go to the courts regardless. You know, past all of that, just the I guess the feeling of all of this, you know, when like, did it feel good to vote?
No, not really. In a way, it did, but I did so with little hope in my heart. If I'm being honest with you, I fully expected Trump to take it back. I'm not sure why. I think maybe just living in Florida.
4 years from now, what is the ideal candidate? Obviously, I'm not asking you to go down the list of policies and things like that, but as much as you can really, what is the guy that would make you passionate about voting? You're running to the polls. This guy's got to be in office.
I would say somebody who is, I don't know, strong on human rights. I know we just fixed minimum wage in Florida, so that's a big one. Legalizing marijuana recreationally.
Florida, I take back some of my vitriol from earlier because that was really cool that we did that. Cool. So yeah. I take back some of it.
A little bit.
It's still really hot here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Decriminalizing marijuana, recreational use
on a federal level.
Yeah. Recreational use across the board, I think, is appropriate, and I think will bring a lot of money in. Working to...
That's part of Joe Biden's platform, by the way. I don't know a lot of people. I don't know why he just kind of snuck it into his platform.
Interesting.
But it's part of it.
That's interesting because when I tuned into him before, like maybe like a year ago or something, he was staunchly against it.
Yep. That was one of the reasons why I didn't vote for him in the primary. Like I was not. That was a big reason because not only just, you know, I don't care about fucking, I need to smoke my pot, man. I don't care about that. What I care about is decriminalization and also day one letting out everybody on a small time drug offense. The fact that there's any human beings who are behind bars right now while, you know, fucking Sally and Karen up the street are starting their CBD business. Yeah. Just every time I think about it, it makes me want to fucking just break things and people.
Yep.
It drives me crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, that is part of his platform now. I was watching, I don't remember what it was, but it was like rolling through all of his platforms, and that was part of it. And I was like, huh, why did he sneak that in there, old sneaky Joe?
Could have sold that a little stronger for me.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why it was like this thing just kind of slipped in
especially with Harris as his running mate. Like, she is notorious for being tough on drug offenses. Yeah. One of the reasons I don't like her very much. But yeah, I mean, that would be a big one for me. I mean, no question, same-sex marriage. Keep that going. Pro-choice, keep that. And I mean, I think just kind of taking a different look at the entire immigration process, you know, making it so people aren't treated like cattle, and just having some sense of human rights on the border. Frankly, you know, we want to keep criminals out, of course, and we want to keep our borders safe, but you know, just somebody who doesn't look at our neighbors as animals or completely blanket judges them as rapists and murderers would be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and somebody just who's respected for their foreign policy, I think, is huge too. Yeah, because I think we've taken so many steps down and isolated and become xenophobic. I mean, outside of the pandemic, to once really good friends of ours across the world, and I think that we're stronger as, you know, partners with other countries who have similar beliefs and similar ethics, and we can, you know, make some deals with, baby. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I take a very humanistic approach to leadership. So, you know, if you're being good to people and, you know, sure, you know, do what you can for the economy, of course, try to make it in America, figure out ways to do that. But at the same time, I think we should take a people first approach, make sure that people are getting the healthcare they need, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
PlayStation 5 for every household.
Yeah, I mean,
free beer Fridays.
I tend to agree with pretty much all of that. A charismatic leader, obviously, somebody who can influence things more so than, you somebody with good foreign policy, somebody who is respected when they walk into a room, not you these past 4 years, it's like you see leaders from foreign nations after the fact laughing at him.
Yeah, because he's a clown.
So yeah, I don't want to go back to.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I would like the opposite of that going forward.
Let me add one more too. Somebody younger.
Way younger.
Somebody younger with some vitality to them, some life about them, some spark in their eyes, energy.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it would be so nice to see somebody that, isn't stuck in the past, but can still respect, the people who are afraid of drastic change, but at the same time, be able to live in the now and not have to deal with, being an okay boomer so much.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer, honestly, I would prefer somebody who is not afraid to, first of all, this is what I want going forward. I want a candidate that's as transparent as possible. I think we're at a point now where, back years ago, politics was this like dirty thing, and it still is dirty. And most of the people that are part of it, if not all of the people that are part of it, are dirty. But I think that the younger that people get into politics, the less they have dirt on their hands, really. And the more that they are transparent from the jump, the better, I think. I think we're at a point now where with just information technology and the way that all of that data is shared and the way that we basically don't have any rights when you really think about it, it's jarring to not know a lot of the things that we still don't know about politicians and how things are run and how decisions get made.
Right.
I think I think the entire process should become as transparent as possible. When you're trying to say, there is absolutely no reason why coronavirus relief, for instance, they're going back and forth, Pelosi and the Trump administration, they're going back and forth about what they want to include in the relief and also how much they want to give, right?
But they're both trying to sneak in stuff outside of
that. Well,
that.
that's what they're accusing each other of.
Right.
And we don't know who to believe because if you can believe Nancy and there's a lot of evidence to believe that Trump would do something like that. But at the same time, Nancy Pelosi is a fucking politician. Yeah. And she's going to try to get her shit in too. So there's no reason for you to not believe that she would do the same fucking thing.
Of course.
You shouldn't trust any of them.
At the detriment to all of us.
For sure.
And the benefit of the party.
Right.
And that's not what we're voting for. We're not voting for the party. We're voting for the people.
Right.
So.
And I don't, it's like, I don't care if you don't believe in the coronavirus. Like, if you need that help, you need that help. Because there are people who have lost their jobs because of the pandemic, and it's there's whether they believed in it or not, whether they think it's real or whatever, they still lost their job. So it's not. I don't care about your fucking anyway.
The unemployment's real,
right? So I want the process to be as transparent as possible, and I want somebody who is, like you said, younger, with more vitality and somebody who is enthusiastic about the process and not. I'm just tired of old white dudes, man. I mean, you could be a white dude, just don't be old.
Just in general.
I mean, yeah, just in general, but yeah,
We do live in Florida.
There's
lots of old white dudes.
I want somebody, yeah, for sure. They're around every fucking corner. I want someone who is progressive, but not. And I don't mean like. Well, I do mean in that political sense of the word, but I also mean in the literal sense of the word, that they are trying to move things forward. That we're not constantly going. This idea that things need to be done the way that the founding fathers did it. It's just so fucking ridiculous to me. Yeah. And I'm so sick of every politician having to pander to the last generation because that's what they're stuck on. Look, they're going to die. Okay?
Is that a threat?
Oh, big time. They're gonna
die.
They're gonna die. They're not gonna be around much longer. Okay, the people that you're pandering to, when it comes to, they're a like with Amy Barrett, she's a constitutionalist. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't care. I understand that the Constitution is incredibly important to the foundation of this country, and the things that are written in it are tenets that we still abide by to this day. I understand how important it is. At the same time, it's 2020. Those dudes who had wooden teeth had no idea the limits that we were going to achieve and are still achieving right now. They just had no idea.
Yeah.
I just wish that we could stop looking backwards all the time. We're always looking backwards. I'm so sick of it.
And I think that comes from a largely Christian conservative viewpoint where, you look at the Bible and it's this timeless document that will forever be relevant, that can never be altered, right?
Right.
Conceptually.
Yeah.
Because it has changed a lot.
Well, nobody wants to talk about that.
Right. But they look at the Constitution the same way, as this infallible, God-sent scripture, that we must follow.
And it's not the same because, and you're absolutely right. And that is the thing that bothers me the most. It's like, okay, if you are a religious person and you believe that the Bible is the word of God, okay, you have an argument there, right? Because God would be all-knowing and all-seeing and would be able to say, like, the words in this will work
forever.
And that makes sense in relative terms.
Right.
But using that as your argument as to why the Constitution still works is ludicrous.
Right.
Because they would not be able to fathom.
I mean, it's a great foundation on which we've already built upon amendments, as you know. But to think that document is infallible in some way, I mean, brilliant minds created this country, right? But to think that will always be, like, everything within that document will 100% be gospel forever and ever and not need to be updated in any way, I don't know. Seems a little ridiculous, especially because we do have amendments.
Yeah. I mean, we've done it before. Like,
so to pretend like amendments are a bad thing, I think is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't understand Amy Coney Barrett's perspective on that. I've honestly tuned out on her because everything I've heard up until this point, I've been unhappy with. So.
Yeah, well, it's funny that they're like, well, I mean, we can't change the thing. And it's like the shit that you love the most about it is changes to it.
Yeah.
So what do we want from, let's say that Joe Biden does win.
Okay.
What do we want from him? We have 4 years, and at every turn, your Republican friends are going to be like, see? Told you.
Mm-hmm.
Told you.
I want basically everything I was talking about who would energize me. I want reform with the United States drug policies. I want people taken out of prison for nonviolent crimes, drug related. I want, a more progressive perspective on social issues. I want us to be able to come to terms with the fact that there is systemic racism still. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization. Police reform, taking a serious look at that. That's and then obviously fixing the entire situation that we have on the border with kids in cages. It's just unacceptable.
I like what you said about taking a really hard, long look at immigration, the entire process, and if there is any way to just completely revamp the entire process, I'm for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, honestly, that we'll get any of that?
Maybe one of those things. I think that if Biden wins, I think that we will, because he's already promised to put in act special task force to find those kids and figure out what the hell we're doing on the border. So, I don't see much pushback against that, but I think that Trump has so seriously screwed with all of the political spectrum that we're going to be seeing 4 years of Republicans trying to stop Biden at every turn. And they very well can. So I think we're going to see a lot of repercussions for Biden winning if he does win.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going to be blamed on him for, again, being this say a lot, do nothing politician. But, deals are going to have to be made. And I'm not sure if they're going to be, given the vitriol we're coming out of with the Trump era. And that goes for even moving forward from here. Even if Biden does lose and we have Trump again, after Trump, I don't really know where we go.
Yeah.
Because it's been so polarized. Everything, every policy, because again, it's become an ethical issue as opposed to just a political one. Where do you stand on this? Because that determines the really your character at the end of the day as a person. And that's why people get so personally affected by who you voted for.
Yeah.
It's not a normal election. I think people need to realize that. This is not a normal election.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to be hopeful, isn't it?
A little bit. So I'm going to have another beer.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I think we kind of have said our piece.
I think so. Unless you have anything to add with what you would want Biden to
no, you pretty much said,
or what you think he would actually be able to get done.
You pretty much said it.
Okay.
What I think he'll be able to get done. See, the thing is, sounding hopeful nowadays makes you sound naive.
Yeah.
Especially about the political process now. You tell somebody like, "Hey, you'll be able to do this, this, and this," and it's like, get a grip, dude.
Right. Have you been paying attention?
But I honestly believe that him being who he is, coming from where he comes from, and just being a guy that I think the reason that he pulled in so many votes was two reasons. I think there was a lot of people not voting for him, but voting against Trump.
Right.
But I also believe that there was a lot of people that said, I'm good with center left.
Yeah.
I can rock with this. This guy seems to look at things the way that I do. He's not like fucking it's always batshit crazy when you see the right talking about the radical left. And
Right.
Joe Biden is going to turn this country into this socialist regime. It's
Welcome
like,
to Venezuela.
who are you? What? Are we looking at the same guy? Are we looking at the same guy?
Joe Biden's an old white man like you.
Yeah, you should be happy
It's not
about
going to
this.
hurt you.
He's not going to hurt you.
It's okay.
He's gonna do right by you. He's gonna do right by you.
The black lady's nice. Don't worry. She used to be a cop.
Exactly, dude. You're looking at what is like almost the ideal two candidates, really.
Yeah. At least
So-
on paper. Unless, I mean, it would have been better if he was like 10 years younger. But
Yeah. I think that would have brought in even more people. But I'm just saying, like, I think that Joe Biden is a guy that actually could reach across the aisle because
Yeah.
I think that he would enthusiastically try to.
yeah.
Versus, I think that there was a lot of pushback on Obama for, I think for personal reasons. I think a lot of them just didn't like him, and I think that he tried to do some radical things, and they just didn't rock with it. But I think that Joe Biden is a guy who they could look at and be like, all right, I'll talk to him.
On the Obama ticket, Joe Biden was the anchor for the people who were afraid of the young, more radical black guy.
Right. At least we got Joe.
Exactly. So now they have Joe in the spotlight, and then somebody younger and black
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say naively, I think he'll be able to get more done than people are going to give him credit for.
Maybe. Could be.
And,
Good point.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, I would much rather be cynical. I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. But there's just a part of me
No,
that's like,
you have to hope for the both of us.
yeah.
Because at this point, I think that, I don't know. I still don't believe that Biden has it in the bag.
No.
much as we
I
wanna
know,
believe.
I know. And we're talking all this shit, and then next episode we could be going.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I mean, we're at an hour, but we could talk about Mando if you want. I kind of want to. Do you want to?
Let's just do it. Yeah. Let's do a quick review of the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, I think when people look at the segments of this episode, they'll see fucking,
Yeah. And
and
then,
then like, boop, and they'll go, you know what? I'll listen to that 15 minutes.
let's go to Mandalorian.
So if you're just joining us,
Hello.
because you're here just to talk about the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah.
Back again. Yeah, so season 2, The Mandalorian, it's back.
Yep.
And I mean,
Baby, do the hand thing.
I mean, they're back doing exactly what the fuck what they were doing in season 1. I'm happy that there wasn't some weird tonal shift.
Are we saying spoilers for this or keeping it? No.
I mean, because there's some big shit that happened in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler in and of itself.
Yep.
Spoilers, because I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We're gonna spoil season 2, episode 1, not the whole season,
Not the entire
obviously.
season.
So, yeah, I mean, it just no weird like tonal shift.
No.
They just kind of get right back into
Well, what I liked was it was like the next chapter.
yeah,
Literally, it was chapter 9
it's
or
chapter
something
9.
like that.
It just continued. The
Yeah.
narrative just continues.
Right.
So, I dig that. It obviously is still gonna look amazing. It's just fun to be back in that world again.
Yeah.
He's like a Master Chief. He's this incredible character because you can almost he's so I was trying to think of the word. Like he's basically formless.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of put yourself in his shoes. You can kind of see he's our moral compass almost.
Right.
And
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And then there's other times where he's not, and that's where it gets interesting because he's not a perfect character. He's not and he's not a good guy,
No.
and I mean, in this episode, I mean, he was willing to take Boba's armor off of Timothy Oliphant's cold, dead body.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't there to fucking strike a deal. He was like, take it off or I'm taking it off. Which is, first of all,
That's mine.
It's still dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I love that the main character is like this killer.
Yeah.
You know, and he's obviously, it's always fun to have like the anti-hero who's also got like the soft spot. And it's cliche, but it's like, whatever. It's still, it's fun.
It works.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's one of those cliches, or this show, I guess, is cliched, but in a way that's like, yeah, but the way that they execute it so far, it's just...
Well, and then placing it into the larger world of Star Wars really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because it brings so much heft to everything. Because you know the larger world you're dealing with. When they said that they're going back to Tatooine, I was like, really? Again? We're going to do that again?
Yeah.
But the fact that it paid off with, obviously, the reveal of Boba Fett's armor, and then what we can assume at the very end is actually Boba Fett.
Boba. Boba. What? It's not Django.
Yeah. But, I mean, it could be like a clone,
Another
soldier
clone
of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been those rumors that persisted that George Lucas always wanted Boba to survive, or that he understood too late how much
cool.
people and he was like, no, he got out of there. He
did Boba Fett wrong.
Yep. Absolutely.
He killed him like a cartoon character.
And what's crazy is how George Lucas seems to, in some moments, have godlike foresight.
Yeah.
And then in other moments, it's like he
Completely
doesn't know what he
clueless.
wrote. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Dog, the minute he's on screen, you're like, well, who's that guy? I want to know his entire story. He looks cool. He's a bounty hunter. Even his name, Boba Fett, for some reason is just a cool name.
Perfect, yeah.
Everything about him is perfect.
Yep.
How do you fuck that up?
Didn't know what he had.
And then once he realized it, then he shoehorned in a bunch of other shit where it's like, guys, seriously, you liked Boba? Django. And we're going to get clones, and he's going to be here, he's going to be there, and then he's going to die. But then we're going to bring him back again. And it's like, you already fucked up, okay? Killing him again in, again, a very not cool way for him to go.
Yeah.
It didn't help. Didn't help yourself.
Yeah.
Old George.
But I do like how the show really expands the Mandalorian lore so much.
Yeah.
It's something that I've always found really cool. I'm sure it's been explored in like extended universe stuff. But I'm not a nerd, so I don't know about that.
Fucking nerd.
But yeah, I'm really curious. That's what has me most into the show, is learning more about that culture, and they're kind of like vagabond Ronin nature.
Yeah. Well, like there's the part where he steps into the Mo's something, I forgot what they called it, the new area, the new Mo's, and he steps in and you hear his fucking spurs jangling, and you're like, you didn't have to put that, but by God, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I just, such a fun detail that they threw in there.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, as far as an episode goes, it was really entertaining. It had a lot of action. Get a lot more with the Sand People.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dragon. Timothy Oliphant's awesome in everything that he does.
He's great in it.
When he shows up in the armor and it's like ill-fitting and kind of janky, you're like, what?
Yeah.
At first I was like,
oh
no. There's no way Mando looks the way that he looks, and then they're gonna disrespect Boba like that. No way. And then he opens his mouth and you're like, That's definitely Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
Like he's got that unmistakable voice, and yeah, the like you said, expanding the lore is very interesting to see. Like, taking this character that was didn't get the justice that he deserved. It feels like now they are really giving him that, you know, and so that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun to see how they do that.
Yeah. I heard that they're taking it a bit more into the realm of, less adventure of the week style and having more of a overarching storyline throughout it all. Which I would be happy with. I prefer that kind of TV storytelling. But
I'll be honest with you, I like what they were doing in the first season.
yeah.
Like, there's obviously the arc, but I like Adventure of the Week too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like 200 episode police procedural Adventure of the Week, but it being a limited series,
Yeah.
I think that, doing fun, kind of off the beaten path stuff, and at the same time continuing the narrative, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't be mad if they went back to how season 1 was, because we don't know for sure how this season's going to go. But I just felt like there was more. You could tell which episodes were like the big ones, you know?
Yes. I think it was a little too obvious where they were like, all right, we're going to continue the story now.
Right. And there were clear like side stories that felt like side missions in a game.
Yeah.
And, more times than not, those little, side stories worked out. I liked the vast majority of the episodes, but I feel like the weakest ones were the ones that were so like completely far removed from the main overarching plot line. So
I don't want it to fall into what all these shows do, which is basically the season it's a 10-hour movie.
okay.
And I understand that that's the way that a lot of these shows are written now. I get that. But I don't know. I think that was part of the show's charm in the first season, was that it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So I personally would prefer that it didn't go down this path of, all right, each episode is going to just continue this narrative. Because the other thing is, with their release schedule, it works better that it's more Adventure of the Week mixed with continuing the narrative than it does. Like, all of these shows, part of the reason that they're written the way that they are is because the writers know that everything's going to drop at the same time, that it's going to literally be a 10-hour, 12-hour movie.
Right.
So they write it that way. But if you have an opportunity to go, all right, you get to sit with this for a week, I think, kind of gives it. We've talked about this. Like, what is the way that these things should be? And so, like, okay, I'll give you a good example. The Boys.
Yeah.
I delayed watching The Boys week to week for the sole reason that it is a show like that.
Right.
Which is, why would I wait for each week?
But that's how conversations were sparked for like Breaking Bad.
That's true, but at the same time, I ain't talking to nobody, man. Dog, there's nobody at my job that watches The Boys.
Oh man.
I get to bro, I get to work and it's like nobody watches anything, dude. Like nobody.
Have you seen the latest Young Sheldon?
They don't watch any sports. Nobody wants to talk about sports. So I don't have that.
You must be in hell.
I mean, it's just big. Yeah, dude. I mean, Saturday rolls around, these big UFC fights. I talk to the people that I talk to, and then once I get to work, it's just like, what'd you do this weekend? I mean, I fucking watched Anderson Silva get his shit rocked, hopefully for the last time. But I don't. No one wants to talk about that.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching Mando. Nobody's watching The Boys, stuff like that. They're watching. Like one of my coworkers, she's like, "You gotta watch Ozark. You gotta watch Ozark. You gotta watch." And it's like, fine, I get it, but I'm gonna go back and watch these 3 seasons so that I can catch up, so that we can talk about. Like, I don't want to do that.
It's a lot.
I I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to watch it just so that I can fucking water cool it with somebody.
Yeah, no. Which, again, you can't really with Ozark because it's all out.
Exactly.
Unless you're talking to them the, like, week after it came out.
And also, it's one of those binge shows.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if I didn't binge the whole thing, then we still really can't talk about it.
I'm on season 2, episode 3.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my God, you're so close. And it's like, oh, cool, go fuck yourself. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
But episode to episode kind of things,
yeah.
you can have those conversations.
Because they're contained.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we can have a full on, like...
I'm a big Buffy and Angel boy, and that's how those shows were, is Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
For the most, but and in some episodes they had an overarching storyline. It's making a lot of sense here. It's making a lot of sense here. Okay, all right. I wouldn't be mad if they went that route again. I'm just saying, if they had this big overarching main story that we advance at least a little bit every single episode, I think that's preferred for me.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Just seeing the guy who played Django play Boba. It's interesting because the original Boba Fett was just like some balding white dude.
Yeah.
He looked like a janitor when you saw him without his helmet. And I always pictured him as like this gruff
New Zealander.
Yeah. I kind of pictured him looking like Timothy Olyphant. I mean, obviously way less sexy, but like just... I'm not afraid to say it. The guy's a fucking...
Oh, of course.
He's a smokehouse.
I was just wondering why you weren't picturing Boba Fett as sexy under that armor.
Well, because he's a bounty hunter, and so he's just like, he's just like this gruff fucking,
I don't know. In Jedi, he's up there with the honeys.
That's true.
Yeah.
He is.
Uh-huh.
He's fucking macking on them. You're
sure
absolutely right. I take that back. You're right. You're right.
Maybe it's because he has all that money from Darth Vader, but
he's still.
Yeah.
He's like, "We'll see you later, bitch. I got some shit to do." You're right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you, I pictured him like that. It's interesting to picture him, first of all, as a brown person.
Yeah.
I wonder if anything comes of that. I wonder if that's a conscious decision. I wonder if because they could have brought Boba back and had him in his armor the whole time. They didn't have to do this narrative, which is what it looks like they're doing with, having him maskless or helmetless and armorless. Yeah. Are we going to confront the fact that Boba is not a Mandalorian and that he stole that armor? Or are they going to change the narrative and say that he is a Mandalorian?
Yeah, because we don't know what the Mandalorians look like.
Right.
The true Mandalorians, I guess.
Right.
Even though they say it's, it's not a race, but it's a whatever the line was.
I don't remember either. But yeah. I don't know. It's going to be fun to see what direction they take it in.
I really hope they don't drag it out too long. I don't want that to be I don't want to have that mystery planted this episode and not get back to it until episode 5.
I agree.
That'd be frustrating to me.
Yeah. And just from a narrative standpoint, not from a I need to know what happens, but just why are we going to drag this out?
Right.
What is he going to watch him from the mountains every episode until he finally comes down and it's
it's already been teased where you see that just the legs walking up to something.
Yeah. Well, and why would we? Why would he just be there watching him the whole time?
Right.
He's obviously it matters. Mm-hmm. So just let's act on it quicker.
Yeah.
Let's not make that a thing.
Let's get there.
Yeah. So, all in all, I think great return to form. Fantastic season 2, episode 1.
I agree.
Good start.
It's got me hooked. It feels good to be back, baby.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, there's some levity.
Yeah.
There you go. That was almost 30 minutes. See?
Perfect.
We
did talking about Star Wars.
We did. Yeah, that's all. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
And you can get a whole nother hour out of us.
Yep.
All right. Well, we should probably go ahead and review these beers and then just go back to staring at a map of the United States.
Let's do it. Red and blue, baby.
So, tonight's brew was the I Voted Today, a collaboration between Hourglass and I space on the name of
Tired
the
Hands
other.
Brewing.
There it is.
Out of Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
Ardmore. It is a DDH, American Pale Ale. Obi, what did you think?
This is a solid guy here.
Solid guy.
It's very solid.
It's a solid guy.
And didn't blow my socks off or anything. It's just hoppy, very hop forward. But again, the first thing that came to mind is solid. It's very solid.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 4, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Just because I am a fan of that hop forward flavor. I wasn't expecting as much of that hop forward flavor because it's just a pale ale, not an IPA, but I think because it's a double dry hopped, which is what I think what DDH stands for. It gives it a little extra over the top, which I for one enjoy. So if you're a hophead, check this baby out because it's a no muss no fuss, but has that hoppy flavor I enjoy personally. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Back to you, Mark.
Hold on.
What are you looking at?
I will give it a 4.5. Also, because I was leaning towards 4. And then I thought to myself, like, if I went up to Hourglass and I was thinking about like which beers would I get? I'm thinking, you know what? I would get this again, just to kind of like if you just need something to kind of sip on while you're hanging out at the bar, talking to somebody, just having a good time. Like I would get this again. This is a very, like you said, it's a solid guy. Mm-hmm. it's a solid guy. So I would that bumped it up to me in my eyes from just being like just a regular old hoppy APA to I would get this again. I would recommend this as not just a novelty beer for the election, but as a very solid selection that you could get at any point. There you go. That's my...
I do assume that it is limited, though.
Yeah, I can only assume that it's limited, so...
Get it while you can.
Yeah. Do your research. Voting isn't just your right, it's your responsibility. There was a lot of copy on here.
I was going to say let me cold read, but it would have taken the full hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
but what it is a lot of important information that they put on here. So good on you, Hourglass. Good on you. All right. Good?
I'm good.
My ass hurts from this.
Mine too.
So let's get the fuck up and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This has been the One Beer and Podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Hopefully you voted.
Good luck, good evening, and good night. Mm-hmm. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Some of you.
Half of you.
I'm kidding. We love all of you.